welcome to the Tough Luck Podcast. And so we'll begin with just a little bit of some insight into what brings magic in the everyday life. Now, not everybody believes in magic. Not everybody feels magic the way that some spiritualists may believe. They may be curious what even magic is. And sometimes it's not within spells, within witchcraft, within things of that nature. Sometimes magic's just within the everyday life. And oftentimes we don't really recognize the little things that enable us to have beauty and have wonder and really just get to our roots in a way. And I do believe that we have the ability to invite in a little bit of magic into our everyday life just from simply acknowledging what it is that magic even is. And so if you think magic is casting spells and various things, I know that that's like a separate channel from here, but if you want to see just everyday life magic, just the beauty of everyday life, then stick around. Something that I've been in reflection of is being and enjoying the perfect day. To me, that's magic because that's simply allowing myself to have the joy of life and to be able to embrace what life has to offer. And it's simple. It's the cup of coffee in the morning. It's sitting on the back porch and enjoying a beautiful day. It's stepping into a warm bathtub that I've been filling up for the past 20 minutes and it's the perfect temperature. It's going somewhere into nature and seeing what's out there, seeing the little critters walking around and being in that moment of complete and utter gratitude for that. It's also waking up to a clean home. Now, that doesn't happen to me every day, but it does happen sometimes. And when it does, I often am super grateful for it because I think I have ADHD, and so sometimes it's hard for me to keep a clean home. And whenever I give myself that blessing of cleaning my house, which I really look forward to doing, I feel so much better the next day when everything's put away, everything looks great. And so it's a honestly, magic is in clean homes, in my opinion, which is kind of funny to admit. It's petting your pet, your cat, your dog. Speaking of cat, I have a cat right here. And just allowing yourself to really show appreciation to your pets because they give a lot to us, even if they're chasing their own shadow sometimes and maybe making fun noises at like all the different critters out there. It's a little things like that, and even more so now than ever do we need our pet. There's hustle culture and things like that that's going on, and so our pets are super critical to our mental health. Hello, buddy. And so I guess what I'm trying to get at here is appreciating the things in this life that give you some nourishment back. And speaking of that, even kissing your partner. Now, not everybody feels comfortable with having a partner or has a partner, even if they want one, even if they don't want one. If you do have one, showing that appreciation in any way that feels good. It doesn't have to be kissing. It can be a hug. It can just be a love letter, or even just like a loved one. It doesn't have to be a significant other. And showing up in that way. And so you can show them the love that they probably need to feel in that very moment. We all need to feel love. Going back to that childhood wonder, I do notice that we often see ourselves more and more as absent from the magic of this world. But really, nothing's really changed. It's just our perception has changed. And we once had this beauty and this magic that childhood offered us because we didn't have the stressors and worries of everyday life. And so the more that we invite in this beauty, this magic into our world, into our everyday world, we can simply allow ourselves to be a kid again and be in that state of wonder and questioning and asking ourselves, why does this thing happen? And sometimes we just still don't know the answer, and that's okay. Doing things that used to enhance your childhood. In our childhood, we had many different memories that popped up. One of which I had, at least, was riding my bike in my neighborhood and feeling the wind blow through my hair. Another one I had was I used to, if I was in a pool, I would turn around and look up at the sun. And now I don't recommend looking and staring at the sun, but that's just something I used to do. Another thing I used to do when I was a kid was playing outside. And as an adult, I don't really do that anymore. I kind of just keep away from the outdoors until I have to exercise, or maybe I have the opportunity to go on a hike. But it's been a while since I've played outside, so this is a good reminder to me as well. So going outside and maybe even climbing a tree if it feels like it's calling to you. I don't recommend going too high, of course, if I don't want anybody getting hurt, but I do think that we miss a little piece of the pie of life when we don't appreciate the goodness that this life has to offer. And another thing that I feel is super important is, and this is another optional one, is to fall in love like you're a teenager. I think relationships are a complicated thing, a complicated topic. If you're in one, great. Then you have somebody that you can fall in love with and look at and say, okay, this is the person. But if you're not in a relationship and you're single, you can do this with your friends too. It's not falling in love necessarily, because that's a totally different feeling, but more or less just really getting deep into that relationship with that person, asking them questions as if it's kind of a first date or just hanging out for the first time, getting to learn more and more about people that you already know. But still, there's so much to people. There's so much depth to people. And when we ask questions, we learn more and more about people. And sometimes we get stuck in those everyday questions that are just, knee-high questions like, how's your day? Did work go well? It's just kind of small talk. But when you get a little deeper, it starts to be a nice thing. Now, of course, they have to agree to it, but you can learn a lot from that about that person, and they would probably return the same favor to you. If I ask them a deep question, they return with a deep question as well, and it's a very enticing time. I recommend it. It's a good time to interact with others. And go out and dance the night away. This one's kind of fun. You don't have to be drunk for this one. You can simply just dance the night away out in the real world. There's plenty of bands that play live music, and I'm sure they would love it if people were dancing and able to get out there and express themselves, because as adults, I feel like we don't move the body enough. And because of that, it feels just more and more hectic in our heads. We're just trapped in this body for so many hours a day. So you might as well just have fun a little bit with it, just enjoy yourself. And another thing that I would recommend is eating really good food. I recommend it being healthy, but sometimes that's not the most accessible. I know that not everybody has access to really good food, but if you do have access to it and you have like a local farmer's market or something that you can go to get really fresh food. I recommend getting some really good food and preparing a meal that maybe takes a little longer than your average. Not something that's like quick and easy, unless if you really don't have time, but something that really requires your love to be poured into it. I know that today I made eggplant parmesan, and it reminded me of my grandpa, who was Italian, is Italian. And it reminded me of days I spent with them, my grandparents, and they'd make us really good Italian food. And there's magic in that, and I think that's magic too. It's bringing me back to a time where I felt super connected with my family. And that's super beautiful. Oh my gosh, I felt so good afterwards too. Especially like eating the food, I feel like I gave myself the love that I deserve. So it was really great. It was just a great day. So do that for yourself if you have the chance. Spending some quality time with your loved ones. But when I mean by quality time, I mean something that gets you out of the rush of life for a bit. Sometimes it just means going on a hike and going to a local park and just hanging out. Or maybe it means going away from just the everyday chaos of your home or life or whatever. Especially with those we live with, I know for a fact that I can sometimes get in the rut of life, and it's just not the best for relationships to thrive. I mean, I'm not saying my marriage is fine, but I'm just saying in the sense of I feel like there are days where I just feel like I really want to get out of the house and go explore something with my partner and go and be with the trees with him and just kind of get out of the box that is our home. And I love our home, but sometimes it entices deeper conversation if we're not just within the four walls of our house. So just think about that for a little bit. If there's somebody you live with that you maybe don't really spend a huge amount of time with and outside of the house, maybe take them out. Take them out for dinner, take them out for a walk, or just getting out. And of course, yes, we're all super busy. But maybe it could be something simple like a 5-minute walk around the neighborhood. It doesn't have to be complicated. We can make it very simple. So at the end of the day, writing down what you're grateful for, spending time with yourself and quality time with yourself, not just sitting around, maybe scrolling on your social media. Like, that's not quality time with yourself. Like, goodness. It's really just sitting with yourself, maybe even in silence if you have the chance. Now, if you have kids, it's difficult. Not everybody has access to a quiet space, and I know it's a privilege I do. But if you can, just even in the bathroom for a little bit, I don't know if that's possible, or when the kids are asleep, spending some silence with yourself and maybe a meditation, giving yourself the quality sleep you need, and settling the mind right before you go to bed. And actually, it is nighttime here in this moment, and I feel like I need that right now. It's like, I feel like I need to just meditate for just a little bit of time and just be with myself. So I think that's what I'll do. I think I'm going to follow my own advice and go ahead and meditate before bed. But oh my gosh, it's been such a privilege to be able to talk to all of you each week. I don't even know how things are going in your world, but I hope it's going really well. And I'm sending you all so much love. Sign up for the membership. It's going to be half off on August 31st. So $11 a month and $111 a year. If you're interested in that, go ahead and sign up for that. And as always, I'll see you all next time. Mwah! Bye.